I feel privilege and honor to introduce and also interview Professor C.S Bhat for the Indian Sociological Society. He is one of the pioneers of the Department of Sociology, University of Hyderabad, which was established in 1979, along with Professor Ratna Naidu and Professor Konda Rao. He is also the pioneer of Center for the Study of Indian Diaspora in the University of Hyderabad, and he's also one of the founding member of Research Committee 4, that is on diaspora and migration studies of the Indian Sociological Society. What initially drew you to sociology?
Thank you very much, Professor Ajailu Niumai. I congratulate Professor Maitreyi Chaudhary for this new initiative taken in recording the life and experience of some of the Indian sociologists who have spent a long period of time in researching and creating a new knowledge domain too. So I'm really privileged being listed as one of the persons to be having a discussion now today with Professor Ajailu Niumai. It was a time span was sometime in mid 1960s, and there were very few educational institutions, including colleges and universities. And in the southern part of Karnataka, where I come from, the college is very limited, and I had only one college, missionary college, which I had the opportunity of studying my graduate studies. And soon after my graduation, I was looking for carrying out further studies for my post-graduation. And some of my seniors suggested me that the university of located in Dharwad, called Karnataka University, was one of the leading universities of the time then, because it had attracted a large number of scholars from all over the world, not just Indian scholars alone. And they suggested me, why don't you try that? Because I was planning to join the Department of Sociology, which was very large at that point of time. There were about 30, 40 students. But this is a new department with half a dozen students, or maybe nearly a dozen students. And the faculty was drawn really from worldwide. The first faculty who was appointed there was Professor T.N. Madan. Another faculty member was trained in London School of Oriental African Studies, and Professor M.C. Pradhan. The third person of Professor Gopal Saran. Such luminaries were there, so my friends told me, you will miss a great opportunity in case you don't take it up. So I took it's a venture to start with, because not many people had been in a Department of Social Anthropology and Social Work. These are the title of the department then. So I entered the Department of Social Anthropology, and my entry to sociology is through the Department of Social Anthropology. And I basically took another 2 years after my master's to go to a regular sociology department, because soon after my master's degree, I got a project from the Anthropological Survey of India, and that too in Southern Regional Center at Mysore, where they had undertaken a huge project on study of semi-nomads. There have been lots of people moving from place to place, live away from their homes for more than half of the year, and then go back to their homes. And I happen to be one of the researchers who sits in this project to start with. So my introduction first is to social anthropology, intensive fieldwork in the domain where you have to be there living with the community for 4 to 5 months, and then get back again, repeat the field studies, and get back. So nearly about a year-long fieldwork needed to be carried out. So I had the first privilege of going through the fieldwork under the Anthropological Survey of India, and then I had the great opportunity of joining Delhi School of Economics, Department of Sociology, when they advertised in 1969 for positions in admission for PhD program for me, luckily, since I had 2 years of experience earlier, they gave me straight away 2 PhD programs. So I began my PhD work from 1969 onwards. Yeah,
Thank you for sharing your remarkable journey of starting in social anthropology and then entered into sociology, and so much to learn from you. My next question is, how would you kind of describe the evolution of sociology in our country since you began your academic journey in the 1960s onwards?
Where after I entered Delhi School of Economics, it was a very, very complex situation with the students of economics, sociology, human geography combined together, interacting with each other. And for me, from going from a smaller institution like Karnataka University, it looked massive, whether I can take the challenge or not. But then my teachers have been very kind to me, so I got into the system. The teacher, the main head of the department was Professor M.A. He had come to start the department in 1959 from Baroda. He was a wonderful person. He made me extremely fine when he interviewed me on the first day, and then he passed on the responsibility to the next professor there, Professor M.A. And I was asked to go and have a discussion with him and decide how I proceed for my learning there at the Department of Sociology. So this is the beginning of my sociological foundation. And one would know, M.N. Srinivas would at once brings us to mind Radcliffe Brown, social structural functionalism. And as you know, there was also sociology of India very prominently emerging. And in these processes, we find very prominent theoretical and empirical studies have been carried out on villages. And a debate most of the time we were involved in was how different villages structures have been emerging. In 1955, there were 3 books on village studies, starting from A.C. Dubé's very monumental work, then McMarriot's work, and third, of course, M.N. Srinivas's India's Villages. These 3 basic works gave us a lot of impetus for carrying out discussions. How do we study villages? How do we study communities, and so on? And slightly at a later stage, we see in when I was about to complete my courses, there was a Dumont Louis Dumont in the in the debate of all the sociologists there in Delhi School, the Homo hierarchicus. Today, of course, we debate whether it was really Homo hierarchicus or not. But then, at that point of time, it made such waves that everyone was talking, debating, critiquing, and so on. The Homo hierarchicus book. This is how my initial training in sociology was marked with. But in the initial stage, we had a great impact of village studies, community studies, and social transformation. It gave me a lot of impetus to carry out my study, which I later on came out with on migration issues.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences and also focusing on the shift in thematic focus of Indian sociologies over the years in our country. I'm just interested to know about your insights on your work that is on diaspora and migration studies. Your contribution to this field of diaspora and migration studies is tremendous, even through your students who are faculty members today. And what kind of questions drove your work?
Thank you. It's the central part of my whole life and career, I must say. I began with the study of semi-nomads. Semi-nomads are people half the time of the year, they'll be migrating from place to place. And there may be pattern of migration. Often there is a pattern of migration. And then come to my work for my doctoral studies, which again, I carried out my studies under Professor M.A, who has been a scholar who has introduced several seminal areas like sociology of migration, sociology of social movements, sociology of food and culture, and and um, uh, so thus he had instilled a lot of enthusiasm in his younger student group who took up studies on migration, including urban studies. Urban studies was also one of the important areas which he emphasized and has worked extensively on urban studies. And I had the privilege of editing a book which he has initially edited, but after his demise, I, along with my colleague here, Professor Lakshminarayan, we edited a book on urbanization and social change, which is brought out by Oriental Longmans. So, out of several of these areas, my area where I had the initial initiative into the study is study of migration. So, I took up study of migration, and my PhD work is further extension of the study which I had undertaken at Anthropology Survey of India. And I took a study of these communities who migrated specifically from Andhra Pradesh to Karnataka, a group called Warders. And these are the people who worked in stones and worked in building structures and mud work, etc. So they are called as the construction workers on the other hand. So these were moving from place to place wherever work was available. So, and thus I tried further to take up theories of migration in terms of how they migrate, why they migrate, etc. And then there was a case which I came across where a group of them started settling down in forming a village. So it's a new village emerging, which is not unlike many other multi-caste villages. It's a single community village. I won't say caste. It was initially tribe, and now then later on gradually got into the caste connotation there. And now they considered as one of the caste in that location. So my analysis was how there is a slow transformation taking place. Of course, theory of Sanskritization was one of the important theories which I applied, plus reference group theory, which was a very significant theory promoted by Merton. Mainly these are the two areas which I use for my study of migration and settlement of a community. Thus my initiative into migration studies began with my PhD work. And then on, I continued it almost till mid-80s, and I had another breakthrough with the fellowship from School of Oriental African Studies, London University. It was a Commonwealth Academic Staff Fellowship, which was awarded to me, and I had a privilege of going to SOAS, where I had a person who mentored me, who had been familiar with the study of Indians outside India. He was the first ethnographer of carrying out a study of Indians in Fiji. And since he knew about how Indians are outside India and what are the issues confronting them, he suggested me. And carrying out study of Indians in London, there was two massive things. So we decided I carry out the study of ethnic association, Indian ethnic associations in London, so that it's it is a manageable kind of a study. So I carried out during a long year study of Indian ethnic association in London, and this is another breakthrough in my whole life and career, which introduced me to the Indians outside India. And that time we are using the word overseas Indians or Indians abroad, and of course diaspora was never anywhere in the scene to be talked about.
Yeah.
And diaspora comes much later, which is another phase of my transformation, I might tell you, in terms of how I try to work and contribute and build institutional structures in the context where I had the freedom here at the University of Hyderabad.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing this journey of entering into the field of migration studies through your mentor in London. And I just want to kind of ask you to highlight about the challenges that you encounter while researching the Indian diasporic community, and how do you navigate these challenges?
It's the study of overseas Indians was carried out only in a limited way by a few people here and there. With specifically we have the writings of the diplomatic staff or some person from sociology or history who had the opportunity of studying people outside India. Like I had my colleague of the department, Professor Arora, who had studied Indian Workers Association in London for his master's degree. So only few people are there with some documents created, but otherwise you don't have basic data available on study of Indians anywhere. So my the opportunities came sometime in 93, 94. In 94, there was a interest shown by the University Grants Commission that they want to carry out study of Indians outside India, or study of overseas Indians. And thus we try to send a communication from here for starting a dialogue on Indians outside India. I'm not using the word diaspora because diaspora came up later, after 95, 96, the word diaspora became fairly popular, but then till the new millennium, diaspora was not a popular word. So we had initial studies carried out by different scholars, not necessarily academic scholars. But then we thought we'll try to initiate it with a conference through an international conference, and we put up a proposal to the University Grants Commission for a first conference on Indian diaspora, which we were fortunate to get the grant from University Grants Commission to fund a few scholars from various countries, Indians who are scholars in the different countries who have studied Indians there, and they were invited to have the conference. We had about a dozen scholars invited from other countries. In 1994 November, we had the first conference of international conference on Indian diaspora hosted at the University of Hyderabad. And the result of the conference was so supportive that the University Grants Commission decided it will be worthwhile to support us for starting a Center for Diaspora. So for our request to grant us support for starting a center, UGC agreed, and we started the Center for Diaspora Studies in 1996. So this was again another important landmark in the whole growth of diaspora migration studies and then diaspora studies. Now, coming to the term which I was mentioning, till 1996, when we wanted to term this Center for Diaspora Studies, there was a lot of opposition saying that the word was not accepted anywhere. Neither the government of India had accepted the Indian outside India or India's diaspora. Now, government of India had not recognized the presence of Indians outside at all till the new millennium, till 2000, until they started a high-level committee on Indian diaspora in 2000. Only then they accorded formal recognition that we have a huge group of Indians outside India who are thriving, who have done extremely well in different fields, etc. It is 2000. This is in the onset of the new millennium. The government of India decided, and you find diaspora centers emerging, diaspora studies becoming more prominent, and we started having a lot of literature, serious studies carried out on Indian diaspora. And the main issue has been first the initial idea of study of Indians outside India was how the Indians are integrated with the with the other outside communities in other countries. Integration of Indians. There were efforts made to assimilate Indians outside India, but it was a futile effort because Indians never assimilated anywhere. So there was a long debate about assimilation in American society. Lots of books have been also written, and they thought it's a melting pot that all ethnicity will be dissolved, and you have American great ethnicity emerging, which didn't happen. And we have a new trend of discussion called multiculturalism, emergence of a large number of diaspora studies, migration and diaspora studies taking place after 2000 onwards. So this is the
Thank
new
you
trend which came up.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. You are the one who introduced me to the world of diaspora studies. You are the one who encouraged me after that Parvasi Bharata Divas held here in Hyderabad, and that inspired me to look into this research gap on the diaspora studies, especially from Northeast region.
Thank you. The Department of Sociology was enriched by your presence in starting from 2000.
Sir, the next question is that you have been closely associated with the Indian Sociological Society. You have been awarded the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award by the ISS, and you have also involved actively as a managing committee member, editorial board member of the Sociological Bulletin, and also nurturing the research committee RC4 on migration and diaspora studies. So I am kind of interested to know what motivated you to get involved in ISS.
Well, I think the Delhi school rings in my mind because that is where I attended the first sociological conference from. I joined in 1969 Delhi University, and my teacher was a secretary for Sociological Society, and the conference was held in IIT Delhi in 1969. And of course, the whole of Delhi school was going to the conference, and of course, a young researcher who just joined the university also joined, and this is my initiation into the Indian Sociological Society. And took me about 2 years persuasion, and of course my teacher M.S.A has been always saying you must be a part of the institutional structures. So I became a life member. You may note my life membership is 312. 312 sounds as if it's one of the early days of society emerging. It's only about 300 people have been there in life.
Today we're more than
society,
6,000.
and today you are nearly 7,000, 6,800 or 900, and we are reaching nearly 7,000. It's a phenomenal growth. When I got the opportunity, I moved to Hyderabad from Mysore initially. In Hyderabad, I started almost every sociological conference I have been attending. In 1992, my friends persuaded me to become a member of the Indian Sociological Managing Committee. So from 1992 to 1998, I was a member of the Indian Sociological Society. When I was still a member of the Managing Committee, issue for initiating new RCs, research committees came up, and that I remember in Osmania University in 97, I think, Osmania University, the issue of starting new RCs came, and it was a great pleasure for me. And I had quite a few supporters too in the managing committee to start RC on migration and diaspora studies. Today, I think the diaspora studies is doing extremely well, the migration diaspora studies, and you have taken the RCO4 to greater heights, and you have left it in the safe hands today with the Professor Jayakumar. It's really having frequent discussions, almost like every week you have a discourse on diaspora studies. So thank you. It's a really great achievement, so far as I'm concerned, I feel. And I really thank Indian Sociological Society to give me all support throughout whenever I needed any support from the Indian Sociological Society. So it's really
Thank
great
you.
pleasure.
Now, looking back at your academic journey, what would have been the most rewarding experience that you had?
The major break was when I joined Delhi University in 1969. I had the support system earlier too. I've been fortunate to be introduced to the areas of interesting areas of research, but then that gave me a major break, and was introduced to a number of new domains of sociology, and then on joining the University of Hyderabad. I had a great freedom to carry out whatever project I wanted, research I wanted, or introduce whatever courses I wanted to. So this is the second part in my life which gave me a greater enthusiasm further to work on. And as I mentioned, the academic staff fellowship, post-doctoral studies was another path breaking in my life totally. And of course, I must thank Indian Sociological Society for giving me the Lifetime Achievement Award. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now, as we come to a close, I want you to give us your parting message to the Indian Sociological Society as we move forward and as we, prepare to celebrate the historic 50 years Golden Jubilee celebration of the AISC, All India Sociological Conference in December 2025 in Andhra Pradesh and Amravati. Any parting message for us?
Initial days, we had all these conferences hosted by universities almost till 1993, 94. I remember the first conference hosted by a private college was in my hometown, place called Mangalore, at St. Aloysius College. That was the first time. Professor M.A was the president, and B.S. Bhaviskar was the secretary of the Indian Sociological Society in 1993. And then on, we have come a long way, and we find today there are a lot of private entrepreneurs, in sense, the colleges and institutions, universities, etc., private universities, coming to host sociology, which shows that the significance of sociology as a discipline, as a profession, has evolved. It is in the market, and I must really thank all the sociologists who have worked very hard to reach at this level. And the one which is going to come up is going to be again in a very exciting location, Amravati, which is the new capital of Andhra Pradesh. And I'm sure with the kind of work which have been carried out by the present president, secretary, and the whole managing committee, etc., this conference will be much more exciting, challenging, and you will have much more to learn in this. And I wish a great success for this Golden Jubilee celebrations. I expect sociology to emerge much more professional and come up to the point where the market is looking at social, because the private entrepreneurs will not take you for a conference unless they find something is really rewarding. It's a great indication that we have a huge future. Of course, we have to work very hard for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing about your journey, your challenges, and also your contribution to the discipline of sociology as a whole, and also your contribution to strengthening the Indian Sociological Society. And I wish you good health, happiness, and long life, sir. Thank you very much.